Stuart, I have a question, Stuart. I've been having a lot of visual new experiences. I look at you, I see Lord Shiva. I look at Nityananda, I see Sri Ganesha. And Rudy, you know, it's like a lot of manifestation and it's real strong. Can you talk about that, please?
Well, I don't know, what do you want me to say, Chris? If you're having visions of that nature, open and let them nurture you inside. It's very good. Okay. You know, there's really nothing to say about that, you know, other than if that's what's going on inside you now, then just open it and let it nurture you, you know?
It feels like they're cracking my head open also.
Well, you know, I've been through that many times, Chris. And, you know, I mean, buried in the chakra, the forehead, the third eye, probably most of the mysteries in the universe. And one of the things that keeps us from tapping those mysteries is all the noise in the head, all the tensions that are inside us. You know, so we need to, you know, basically, you know, it happens, you know, suddenly all these, you know, things form in the forehead. You get, you know, I have this phoenix bird here, and,
yeah,
you know, it's incredible. And all it is opening so that deeper mysteries in the universe can be tapped. It's part of the work. It's a very good part of the work. You know, I mean, the things you talk about, I mean, I would sit with Rudy and I used to see Shiva, you know? Rudy was the earliest version of Shiva. Rudrananda was the most primal version of Shiva. You know, Nityananda was the incarnation of Ganesha. You know, and whether I'm Shiva or not, I don't know. I don't want to take that position, you know? But if you happen to see Shiva in me, okay, you know, I'm not gonna fight you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Stuart.
You know, I mean, it's all part of the evolution of one's inner life. And if you do inner work long enough, all these things start happening. Very deep things and very wonderful things.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I can't tell you how many times I've had cosmic physicians come down and operate on my head. Oh, man. I used to be with Rudy. I used to see that going on. And that type of work he passed on to me. So I know exactly what you're talking about, Chris.
Okay, great.
But it's not something I can diagram on a blackboard or write in a book and then people are going to make that happen. That takes time. It takes a lot of work, a lot of inner development. To be able to arrive at a place where these kinds of things happen. Your hands get taken away from you.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff happens. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Hi, Stuart. This is Melissa.
Yes.
Hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. Kind of following up on Chris's question, although maybe much differently, is there's oftentimes like a dissolving of the physical body. Sometimes it might be like really localized into like just my face or something like that, but sometimes it can be more total. I'm wondering if you could also speak to that, please.
Well, you know, often the physical body, you know, obstructs the spiritual. And if you go deep enough in yourself, the physical body, not that it vanishes, but the soul begins to get free of it. So it feels like the physical body becomes nothing. It doesn't, it's there, you know? But that feels like that because we're really building a system inside that is enabling us to ultimately get free of the physical body. And that happens incrementally, you know, it happens slowly, and over time, we get free of us. We get free of the physical body. And those kinds of experiences you described happen. You know, suddenly you're sitting in a state of nothingness. That state of nothingness, you know, frees you to open and receive more cosmic energy, more higher energy, so that you can build your life, build your inner life. So there's nothing, you know, look, I mean, if people from another world listen to this, I think we're all nuts. But, you know, in this world that we live in and the kind of meditation that we practice, seeing visions, seeing gods, demigods, you know, all kinds of ancient forces, and it's all part of the evolution. Because you've got to remember, you know, nobody here is here for their first incarnation. Most of us go back many, many, many lifetimes. And in all those lifetimes, we've experienced different aspects of Shiva, Ganesha, you know, Christianity, you know, I mean, go back to the Essenes where they did a very pure form of Christianity. I mean, we begin to have experiences like that because also in our past lives, we went through things like that. You know, that state of nothingness is a very good one because you're getting free of the body. Now, you got to keep centered in the navel chakra because, you know, you also can just flip out. You know, suddenly you just, you know, you're you know, like there's no grounding, there's no balance, and you got to come back and live in the world, you know? So it's always very important to be able to combine the physical with the spiritual, living with the world and being free of the world at exactly the same time. So when you go through that kind of inner state of nothingness, just keep your mind focused one-pointedly on the navel chakra. And that'll keep you from just, you know, spacing out and, you know, sometimes having very difficult experience, hard to come back. And yet we all live here. We have to live here every day. So there has to be that part of us. And when we're experiencing that state of nothingness, we should have a connection with the third chakra, you know, and then let everything else dissolve. Because ultimately we come back. And we need to be grounded enough in ourselves to receive that energy so that we can practically use it to get free of this, of our, you know, in this incarnation. You know, Melissa, I've been through that also many times. I still go through that. Sometimes I just disappear, you know. When I teach these classes, in order to teach these classes, I can't be here. Nityananda comes and teaches them. Rudy comes and teaches them. Sometimes souls and spirits, I don't even know who they are, come and teach these classes. It means I have to be in as close a state of nothingness that I can possibly be in order to teach these classes. To allow that higher force to come down and teach. So that's probably the best I can do about that. You know, I mean, it's great to experience that, but just stay centered. You know, because for a lot of people living in very difficult circumstances, through drugs and through a lot of other things, that have had these experiences, you know, and they get severed from reality,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So the point is to be there and here at exactly the same time. And when we evolve, and the point is that we leave the world, we have evolved to such a depth in ourselves, you know, that we finally can take that last step and be free of it. We leave the body behind.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, this is all very esoteric stuff. Very esoteric stuff. So, you know, I mean, don't think about it. Just take the energy in, let it work on you. You know, it's like osmosis. Take it in and marinate yourself in this kind of energy, you know? And it'll create major changes inside, major inner growth, major steps in terms of one attaining a spiritual enlightenment. And that's my job. My job here is to give all this away and to try and help anyone who wants it, you know, to grow and truly become enlightened. My job isn't to create lineages, you know. My job isn't to do that kind of stuff. Enough people that do that stuff. I don't have to do that. My job is to nurture people, you know, so that they truly can build an inner life that can help them attain a state of enlightenment. If I do that kind of thing, I've done my work in the world. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, could you talk a little bit about what or some of the things you may experience when you recognize you're being worked on? Like you said, surgeons or that type of...
Well, there are cosmic physicians. There are higher physicians. And when you're ready to take those next major steps in your life, they come down and work on you. They work on you. I mean, it's like going through an operation, for God's sake. They come down and they open areas of your head, your heart, you know, all the things that need to be worked on. But a person truly has to be ready for that. And these cosmic physicians come. I know they, you know, I've had this, I mean, not all my life, but certainly, you know, through the training Rudy gave me, I used to have these experiences. I still have these experiences. But they are, I mean, sometimes it's very painful. I mean, I remember Rudy talking about once he was sitting in a meditation and he heard a crack in his head. And it was those higher physicians that came down and literally performed an operation on him. You know, I've never had that in a meditation class, but I've had it, you know, in sleep, you know, during the day, things like that happen. And generally they kind of waste you, you know, you got to really recover from that. They're very powerful experiences. Nothing to run to doctors for and all that, but it's just things that you go through, and there can be a lot of pain, a lot of, you know, changes that are taking place very quickly in yourself. And these physicians work on you. So, you know, I mean, they don't wear white coats and masks on it. I mean, they just come as energy forces and work. I mean, you can see here, it's right here, this whole thing in my head. I don't know if you can see it on the monitor, but it's all, I mean, that's years of having these higher forces work on me, creating those kinds of inroads in the third eye, they give one the capacity to see in a much deeper way. A big side of that is when this phoenix bird begins to, that's all about death and rebirth, coming out of the ashes, being reborn. That forms in your forehead. And all of this comes about. One has to just be doing the work in depth long enough to allow these things to take place. But it's, again, I will repeat it, it's not something, that you can read about in a book or even hear about in one of my talks and just go and do. It's something that you have to incrementally prepare yourself over time to grow to a place where these kind of things happen. And to me, I'm just grateful that I can provide the Shakti, the energy to help you all grow like that. But then there's another element, the commitment to a spiritual life, to doing what you have to do to have a spiritual life, not doing what you want to do, because it doesn't work. Along those lines, I was thinking, New York is getting very quiet regarding this COVID thing. And, it's on it's really like 3% of people that are tested now in New York have COVID, used to be 45, 50%. So I'm thinking, that I would like to start in-person classes. But then I was talking to my daughter today, and I'm really very tired. This has been teaching these classes 7 days a week or 7 times a week, and whatever else I do. So I've decided I'm going to probably take a vacation sometime in early March for like 9 days. I need to just go where it's warm and just take a vacation. So I think if I start the in-person classes, it'll either be last week in February or the beginning in the middle of March. And everyone's invited. I know some of you are anti-vaxxers. I don't care. I just want people to be vaccinated. I don't need, I have this cough. I don't need to get COVID, and I just want people to be vaccinated. And if they come, have a booster, the whole thing, so the whole situation is safe. But I'm really looking forward to this, because through this hands-on work and that type of work I do, it will intensify the process, deepen it, and help people to grow that much quicker. So anyway, I'm thinking maybe the middle of March, we'll start this after I get back if I take this vacation, it's going to be between the 3rd and the 13th, 14th of March. And the chances are very good I'm going to take the vacation because I need it. I probably will have, meditation classes while it's going on. But, because I'm told that where I think of going, they have very strong Wi-Fi. I don't know if I'll have as many, but I will have some meditation classes. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there will be class tomorrow evening. Same time, same place, all over the world. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And again, as I end these classes, bless you all. Thank you. Look, if you didn't ask about Shiva and you didn't ask about being nothing, none of this energy would have come through me. So it's a very important relationship between student and teacher, because your desire to grow, you know, really forces me to go to places very deep in myself to allow these kinds of teachings to manifest. So God bless you. Thank you. And
Thank you, Stuart.
looking forward to seeing everybody on Monday. Have a wonderful evening. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stuart.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much.
Thank you.